So do not go that route of just messaging, being cute with each other, and then either falling in love or being awkward. Because a lot of people, through text or email, things get awkward quick. I would say your first step is to get out of the digital and into the flesh. Meaning, you arrange a meeting. Like if you're both compatible, you see that you both have an attraction and a ballpark compatibility, why not meet? Now, the meeting should be not alone, and it should involve some of the stakeholders. Like, for example, he comes with his mom and visits you and your mom, right? Or him and his mom and dad, they come and visit you, all right, with your mom and your family, whatever it is. Get out. So the first thing I would say, get out of the digital. Get into the flesh, right? Get into the flesh right away. So that's what I would, that would be my first piece of advice on that type of interaction. Because once you get into digitally communicating, the percent error that you can create is so high. Like the chances of a mistake, of a misunderstanding happening becomes very high, right? And I think we've all had experience of like just someone not answering. And I think we all have experience where we're just so tired and we can't answer, right? Like there can be times where I'm looking at a text and here's a message for all my friends and anyone who messages me here, right? I'll tell you the amount of times that I see a message that I wish I could answer, but I'm just going to die right now. My eyes are going to fall out from screen time. I have to sleep, right? And I see the person, and they wake up the next day, okay? And that message has been pushed down, right? It's been pushed down. I didn't even see it. I didn't see that they messaged again or something like that. And you just, emergencies happen, things happen, you totally forget. So the amount of accidental misunderstandings in the digital, so if you is so high. So my advice to you is, if Mawadda matches you up, get out of the digital as soon as possible and get in the flesh and bring the stakeholders and talk vision only. Now, if someone is not mature enough to do that, they're not mature enough to be a husband or a wife, right? If you're not mature enough, you're not really ready. If you're not mature enough to say, okay, well, let's just, and by the way, it doesn't have to be just a one-on-one. It could be something a little bit looser than that. It could be like 3 families are there, 4 families are there. A bunch of people are there. And it's not like, okay, let's sit down and talk. How do you want to live your life? No, it could just be a feeler, right? It could be a little bit of an extension. Let's say an extension. You filed for an extension on the ballpark attraction phase of things, right? That precondition. That's a precondition, right? The ballpark attraction phase of things. Are we in the same ballpark, and do we have any attraction? That part of things, you can extend it with a face-to-face. So another thing is that there are gatherings in masajid. Is your family going? Yes, my family's going. We can meet there, and you go with somebody, and she's with somebody, and you just exchange paths. So you physically see one another, you physically chit-chat with the parents, and you've extended the attraction or ballpark phase of things. Right, is what I'm saying making sense? Yeah. Okay. Good. A little subliminal type of... Yeah, like a very soft touch. I personally don't understand how people dive into marriage.
I think it's easier said than done, though.
Yeah.
Like to, invite 3 families to your house. It just seems like it's, on paper it sounds realistic, but like it's hard to execute.
Well, what if we say, for example, let's say, hypothetically, there's a guy who wants to get married, and Mawadda tells him, hey, you match up with this sister. Oh, where's this sister from? Well, okay, she's from Connecticut. I say, all right, but fine. If she's good enough, then we'll go up there. Then who do I know somewhere in the middle, right? Or somewhere that can invite us both, right? And there could be a couple people there. And it's not that I'm going to see her. No, it's an invitation. She'll just happen to be there, right? It doesn't have to be something complex. It doesn't have to be like a lamb is cooked. No, just like coffee and tea, right? Coffee and tea. You go in, you bring a cheesecake. She brings a chocolate cake, and everyone chit-chats and eats, and she happens to be there, right? And you see if what Mawadda produced for you was something that is worth your while, okay? So it seems, okay, traveling light, I don't know if this is a girl or a guy, but I think she's a girl. She says, Girls don't just want to meet guys for just because they seem like a good potential. Keep going, scroll.
No, this is like a long
Oh, it's a long discussion.
narrative.
It's a narrative. Okay.
It started like all the way back here.
All right. Well, I'm sharing you my perspective on how things go and how things should go. Okay. All right. When you say speak about vision and not other things, can you give example? Deen, right? Deen, matters of deen. Where you want to live. What kind of family is it? Culture. What kind of culture do you see yourself living? What fields do you want to live in? Do you want to work? Do you work in, for example? Maybe someone doesn't want to marry a surgeon. Maybe someone doesn't want to marry, I don't know what. Like, generally, I don't want to marry someone with a small income, let's say. Yeah, like I was poor growing up. I don't want to marry someone who's a very moralistic 6th grade teacher, right? Because he's not going to make a lot of money. But he has morals. He's a great guy, but he wants to teach 6th grade. No. I was poor growing up, hypothetically, so I don't want to go there again. I don't want to go in the life of poverty. Give me someone who's like an engineer, a lawyer, an accountant. So that's what I'm saying. The main, most important things. I don't want to be poor again. I don't want to be from some bizarre sect. I don't want to make hijrah out of the United States. Basic things like that. That's the vision. So you can extend in the flesh. We're back in this issue of the first thing I think you should do is get out of the digital and into the flesh, to extend that period and confirm that we have attraction and we are ballpark.